Tyson Fury was trained by gypsy traveling boxers, right? They do bare knuckle boxing. Their defense is a lot different. They move their head, they parry. A lot of times in boxing, boxers do the high guard. You can't high guard with MMA gloves. You definitely can't high guard with bare knuckles. And if you watch Tyson Fury, he has great head movement. You rarely see him do this. He moves his head enough. The only way the small gloves will make a difference is if you include clinching. If it's a bare knuckle fighting where you include clinching, I think that Ngannou beats him. But if you do not include clinching, he'll take a beating for as many rounds as it lasts. Hopefully it lasts all 12 so people get their money's worth. But Tyson Fury's a problem. Like I know this. I'm not sure if Ngannou punches harder than Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder can punch, and Tyson Fury is eating all of Deontay Wilder's right hands. He's the only man that was never been stopped by Deontay. He's been knocked down by Deontay twice or 3 times, but never stopped. And that's impressive, man. He's he's a legend, honestly. But hopefully, it's entertaining. But I don't think that it'll make much of a difference unless they include clinching. What do you think?
I fully agree. I don't understand it. I know they're trying to bring those rules. Like, that's a little bit of a problem. The problem that they saw was that we cannot make the world believe that Tyson versus Francis is a question. Obviously, it's Francis, so let's put some rules in to make the world believe so that they will come give us their money. Like, okay, fair enough, but you did that so obvious, and you tried to do it by throwing a cage in there, which just insults anybody's intelligence. What difference would it make if you were in a cage? I mean, surround it with hay bales, put it in a parking lot. What difference does it make? So I thought Tyson sounded like a fool by doing that. And he goes, and we're going to do it with the 4-ounce gloves. Like, okay, well, there's no commission that sanctions that. So now we're not even talking about an athletic event. We're talking about an exhibition that you're going to need to find a jurisdiction where this is even allowed. And it just kept getting weirder and weirder. Or you could just do what Francis wanted to do, which was box. Francis never called for any BS. He never called for anything weird. He wants to get a bunch of money, but he was willing to box. Just go box.
And the problem with that is, in boxing, unless it's an exhibition, or unless Francis has a big money guy that can pay to get ranked, the fight would make no sense, because all the mandatories Tyson Fury would have, would go first for Francis.
Sure.
And how would Francis be deserving of a title shot when he's not ranked?
Sure. Okay, so let me make sure I'm understanding this. So you're saying the only way to let it happen within the contracts that are already signed is to have it not be in boxing, which is why they need to go create their own sport? Was that your point of saying that? Or because if they go box, they can't pull it off. You got to go to Usif, get all these other guys first.
That's how it seems. I don't see.
That's a good point.
I don't see how because think about this: when Floyd fought Conor, Floyd didn't have a belt.
Sure.
So he could fight Conor because they Ring Magazine's like, you know what, we're gonna make a made up belt for them to fight for.
Yep.
Well, there were no rankings involved. That's why you would never see Conor fight someone like Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, because you have to be ranked to fight these guys.
Sure.
But in the exhibition, you could fight Floyd in the exhibition all day. You could fight Pacquiao in the exhibition all day.
Sure.
But for a belt, it's not happening. Unless it's a made-up belt.
It's an interesting point. I mean, I realize that is why they started doing these exhibitions as like a workaround. Hey, we're not boxing. This is something else. But, I mean, what are you going to call it? You're going to put it on Sports Center. If Jim Rome's going to talk about it, he's got to call it something. And I have a feeling he's going to call it boxing. So, is it or isn't it?
But, within boxing, they have other genres. Celebrity boxing.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You got 2 celebrities boxing.
Sure.
Let them go 5 rounds or 6 rounds, and not let it be like a 10-round, 12-round beatdown. Let it be 6 rounds, 6 2-minute rounds or whatever.
Sure. Hey, you might have been on something talking about the gypsy thing. I mean, bare knuckle would be very interesting between those two, but under the rules of bare knuckle boxing, of course, then we're doing the clinch.
Well, this bare knuckle boxing, you can't clinch. Bare knuckle fighting, BKFC, BYB, you can clinch.
Oh,
it's bare knuckle fighting. But bare knuckle boxing, like BKB, they only box.
Okay, bare knuckle fighting championships. I appreciate that distinction.